that is the scene. It's a spectacular sight here at Sano as we prepare for the KZ2 final. We count down to what will be a spectacular race here in a few moments' time at Sarno. The KZ2 final, just a few moments away from launching into life. Of course, this was the circuit that hosted the 2012 World Cup that was won by Bas Lemmers. He is in this race, starting out of grid number 12, and the 2014 World Championships, which were won by Marco Ardigol, who starts this one on pole position in just a few moments' time. Winner of the last round of the series, Paolo De Conto, the reigning world champion, is not here this weekend. He will be back for the final in 7 days' time. Paolo racing in the 24 Hours of Italy, held at the Adria circuit, where we started the season for WSK back in January. Paolo watching on live from back home. It will be a titanic fight next week when Paolo rejoins us for the final round of the series. Yes, taking the opportunity to race in the 24 Hours of Italy, a fantastic event held up at Adria, where the winning team included that of the 2000 world champion Colin Brown, driving for ATB Team Bengio. Paolo did lead the early part of that race. The winners actually completing near on 1,800 kilometres. Certainly good training, you could say, for De Conto. Missing for this penultimate round of the series, but we'll be back for the final. And we're also delighted to say that the reigning OK Direct Drive World Champion, Denny Curl, will also join us here in 7 days' time for the final round of the WSK Supermaster Series, driving for the Kart Republic Dino Chiesa team. Once again, a very happy Easter to everyone watching us all around the world on this, the first day of April. We're just counting down a few moments away from the start of the final for KZ2. The track is dry. We've had changeable weather overnight. The pre-finals largely run on a wet circuit, but the track is dry at the moment. It is Bridgestone slicks for everybody, with Ardigo to start this one on pole position. The track's relatively green. The rubber that was painted onto the circuit throughout practice and the heats has washed away. And the grip, which was there 24 hours ago, certainly not there today. It will build up once again. We're expecting a top temperature of 22 degrees for our final in 7 days' time. It's about 5 less than that here this afternoon, but it's still 20 degrees warmer than Lonato 1 month ago, where it was snowing and -6 degrees. You look at the pole sitter on screen, number 151, the 3-time world champion Marco Ardigol. Come back after nearly all of 2017 spent on the sideline due to injury, winning the pre-final. Have a look at the nose cone, or the NASA panel, I should say, of the Tony Kart team. Wind tunnel tested with an aero tunnel up underneath the number. Paolo Ippolito from Tuscany, the LKE-powered Lenzo kart on the outside of the front row of the grid. His teammate, Francesco Iacovacci, also driving for the Sicilian Lenzo kart team. Mind you, in the colours of Luxor, still powered by the LKE, as the 3-minute board goes up. What a tremendous sight this is. The KZ2 6-speed shifter kart class. Benjamin Tornquist, second in the KZ2 International Super Cup at Wackersdorf in Germany last year. That race will probably haunt him for the rest of his life. He drove superbly though, only to be passed on the final corner by Alex Irlando. In good form this morning was Benjamin. The Swede starts out at 4, and Giuseppe Palomba hits his 17th birthday today, and he has been so impressive on this, his home circuit. The TM-powered Intrepid 155 ran second early on, finished 5th, starts on the 3rd row of the grid, alongside the French driver Tom Louet, driving for CPB Sport Competition Paul Bizalion in the Sodi kart, powered by the TM. We look at Emil Scaris in the Energy kart, has got speed in that Energy. Of course, Energy just recently announced as an official sponsor of the Audi World Rallycross Racing Team, that of Matthias Ekström. The Energy sticker is on the WRX cars of Andreas Backerud and Matthias Ekström. As you look at Alex Irlando starting alongside Emil Scaris in the aforementioned Energy kart in grid number 8. Joshua Fife, the reigning Australian champion from his national capital, from Canberra, in the 117 Energy kart. There is the Australian. He will actually fly back down under and make that, believe me, miserable 23-hour flight back home to race in the next round of the AKC at Albury-Wodonga in 2 weeks' time. Had a great run in the pre-final, coming from grid number 21 to finish in P9. Starts on the 5th row alongside Francesco Comanducci in the 153. There he is, the Italian, the TM-powered Tony Kart. We are in readiness, just a few moments away. Isaac Skogqvist, another Swede aboard an Energy kart, being assisted this weekend by the 2015 European KZ2 champion, Joel Johansson. Great to have Joel here at the track, and it would be even better to see Joel back behind the wheel. His countryman, his teammate, Isaac Skogqvist. And that is Bas Lammers, who won the World Cup in KZ1 right here at this very circuit in 2012. He's racing for the brand new Serbian Lion Kart team for 2018, the 30mm Lioness chassis. That's 125, Riccardo Longhi. Speaking of birthdays, it was his yesterday. And he starts on the 7th row of the grid in the 125 Birolart alongside his teammate, the driver from Gothenburg in Sweden, Alexander Dahlberg. The grid girls leave the circuit, but they don't leave the series. This is not Formula One. Yes, we have grid girls. And here in Naples, to paraphrase the classic American sitcom Seinfeld, yes, they're real and they're spectacular. You look at Benjamin Tornquist lining up behind Paolo Ippolito. As the 1 minute board goes up under threatening skies here at Circuito Internazionale Napoli. KZ2 start, green flag flies. Our assistant race director, Mr. Marco Carlino. Ardigo in 151. You can see the NASA panel, unconventional new debut this weekend by the Tony Kart Racing Team. As they head up the back straight for the first of what we expect will be 2 formation laps under the control of our race director, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari, and under the control, quite literally, on the circuit of the pole sitter, Marco Ardigo. We look across the countryside towards the historic city of Naples. There is the pole sitter in the green and white machine just ahead of Paolo Ippolito. Francesco Iacovacci on the 2nd row of the grid. There is Vesuvius in the background, and this is the grid. Ardigo, Ippolito, Iacovacci, Benjamin Tornquist, Giuseppe Palomba, the local boy, 17 years of age today, starting out at grid number 5 alongside Tom Luay. Emil Scaris, Alex Irlando, Josh Fife, 2 energies in the top 10. Lines up right behind his teammate Scaris alongside Comanducci. Skogqvist, another of the energies. Bas Lammers, watch the 2012 World Cup champion from grid number 12. Longhi, Dahlberg, Puhaka, Renaudin, Vigano, Noblo, Maximilian Paul, Andrea Dale. Then it is Daniel Vasile, the Dutchman Dylan Davies, Ciro Molo and Giuseppe Fusco, 2 drivers from Naples on the 12th row of the grid. Pasquale Tallone for the Evo Kart team, Marco Valenti, Alessandro Giardelli, and Alessio Pacini, who led the opening lap of the pre-final, but didn't finish, has to come from the final spot. Grid 28 in the 127 Vortex powered Tony kart. Ardigol warms the Bridgestone tyres. That's the part of the Sarno circuit that is being extended later on in 2018, bringing the Circuito Internazionale Napoli up to a total length of nearly 2 kilometres to be used mainly for motorcycle and car racing as the field go down through the betitaly.it hairpin on their second formation lap. Ardigol in 151. There's Adrien Renaudin, the Frenchman in the Super Blue machine, who dominated the final round of the European Championships at Kristianstad in Sweden last year, where we understand the track that will host this year's World, OK and Junior Championships is under about 3 inches of snow. That is Marco Carlino, who bravely stands at the front of this field with the red flag. Ardigol to the left of your screen. Bas Lemmers in 143, the red and white machine just pulls up to the right of your screen. Grid number 12, that's Riccardo Longhi pulling into position. Renaudin, Ciro Mollo, Giuseppe Fusco in the 141 Formula K kart. There's Alessio Piccini, who led the pre-final, but has to start this from the back of the grid. Ready for a start over 17 laps. KZ2 is green in Sarno. Iacovacci up the inside, slots into third. One kart off in the grass. Ardigol is the early race leader as they go down into the hairpin for the first time. Oh, a big crash with one of the energy karts. Renaudin is also involved. The track is blocked. Fusco, one of the Birol Arts also. I believe that was Josh Fife involved in that at the far part of the circuit. We have lost 3, possibly 4 of the front runners. Ardigol and Ippolito unaffected. That has robbed us of a spectacle this afternoon. Tornquist involved. Fife, also Isaac Skockfist. That incident has taken out 2 of the energy karts, along with Matteo Vigano, Maximilian Paul, and Giuseppe Fusco. They have rejoined. The field has scattered. Ippolito in the slipstream of his countryman Ardigol as they come across the line for the first time. Vigano is out. Tornquist, also a retirement, as Ippolito slots into the slipstream and tries to make a move on the 3-time world champion. We have lost quite a few of the front runners, robbing us of a spectacle here this afternoon. It would seem one of the Birol Arts is also out. Alexander Dahlberg does in fact come across the line, but he's half a lap behind. Tornquist is out. Fife is out, as is the driver from Bergamo, Matteo Vigano. The rest of the field is scattered. Dahlberg, Paul, Fusco and Skockfist are still circulating, but they're half a lap behind. What a messy start to this. The opening laps of the KZ2 final here at Sarno. Back to the front, the Italians run 1, 2, and 3, and 4 because Iacovacci's into 4th spot. Then it is Tom Louet in the Sodi kart. So let's recap. The 3-time world champion Marco Ardigol leads in the Tony kart. From the Lenzo kart of Paolo Ippolito, Giuseppe Palomba up on the podium in the Intrepid, just ahead of Francesco Iacovacci in the second of the LKE-powered Lenzo karts. Then it is Tom Louet for CPB Sport. The Sodi kart, Comenducci, Puhakas in 7th, Longhi 8th, Bas Lemmers into 9th, and Emil Scaris rounds out the 10 in the remaining energy kart. Pasquale Tallone goes through the betitaly.it hairpin with bodywork falling off his Evo kart. In fact, he's got no left side pod, and the overflow bottle from the radiator is also flapping in the breeze. He will be given the mechanical defect flag. Comes onto the straight now, just behind the 134 of Andrea Dale, the 2014 European KZ2 champion. So a messy start to the final. Palomba, meanwhile, he is the beneficiary. 17 years of age today. It is his birthday. What a present it would be if he can stay in third and mount the podium at the end of this 17 laps. Ardigo from Ippolito. Paolo doing a superb job to shadow the three-time world champion, Marco Ardigo. Missed much of 2017 with injury, as Lemmers goes down the inside and takes Comanducci. Picks up another place, puts him into 8th. Down through the gearbox goes Ardigo to complete lap number 4 of 17. Looks behind him. Ippolito does the same. There's Palomba, Iacovacci, Tom Luay, Puhaka into 6th. Started out of grid number 16, so he's picked up 10 positions on the opening lap there. Ippolito, 1:02, grabs another gear at the far part of the circuit, starting to lose touch. And Giuseppe Palomba, the fastest driver on the track, a 57.2. He's 0.2 of a second faster than the race leader, the three-time world champion, Marco Ardigo. In the Intrepid kart, works superbly around this 1,547-metre circuit. There is Ardigo, the brand new NASA panel. It looks like something straight from the 250cc superkart world. Apparently wind tunnel tested, working very effectively here at the super quick Sano circuit, where the average speed is around about 98 kilometres an hour. In ideal conditions, they will touch just over 100 miles an hour right there for our friends in England and North America. And that's just on 161, 162 k's an hour. They do need the slipstream, they do need ideal conditions. Even if they don't touch the magical 100-mile-an-hour mark, it is still mega quick here at Sano. An average speed, of around about 99.2 kilometres an hour here on this circuit. So they go down the Vega tyres, back straight into Bet Italy. The front 4 Italians lead the French driver Tom Luay, Simo Puhaka from Finland into 6th spot in the second factory Tony kart. Emil Scaris, the remaining energy, stays in position number 10. Just behind Adrien Renaudin. There's Palomba, Iacovacci. In fact, Puhaka's just got past Luay. Renaudin goes through. That's Giardelli, who qualified 4th on Friday night. Didn't have a good run in the pre-final, but he's fought his way back up into position 13, just ahead of Giro Mollo. Alex Orlando is in position 15. Alessio Piccini from the back of the grid. Yes, he got the benefit of avoiding that crash, which took out 6 of the front runners, but Alessio Piccini is into 16th spot. Son of the 4-time world champion, Alessandro Piccini. His father, as ever. Would you want a better mechanic than Alessandro, who won the Formula C World Championships in 1987 at Magione, 1990 at Laval, 91 at, I'm stretching my memory now, and I wasn't there, 1991 at Padova, and 1993 at Valgri Brata. Yes, I cheated. He told me that on Friday night. His boy is now into the top 15, tucked in behind Alex Orlando. There is Giuseppe Palomba. Set the fastest lap a few moments ago, and he's actually 0.3 of a second faster than Paolo Ippolito in second place. On the podium, well, the question was, could he hang on to it? But he's actually gaining on the driver from Tuscany, Paolo Ippolito. Francesco Iacovacci from the eternal city of Rome in position number 4. Puhaka is in 5. Out of betitaly.it they go. There's Lammers up into 7th on the back of the Frenchman, Tom Luay. So Giuseppe Palomba, 17 years of age today, on his home circuit in the slipstream now. He'll get the advantage of that. So they go down through turn number 1. They grab 5th gear. Now they're up into 6th gear. Well over 155 k's an hour down into the hairpin. Giuseppe Palomba. Ippolito does not close the door, does not fight. Iacovacci watches on from P4. Giuseppe Palomba What a drive from the Napolitano. Down the inside, the Intrepid on the Lenzo kart. Oh, he locked it up on the exit. That could have been a disaster. Gave him a wave, said thanks for the sportsmanship. And Paolo, I'll see you later. So Giuseppe is now after Marco. Paolo back into third. Ahead of Francesco. Then it's Simo, the Finn. Tobluay, Bass, the Dutchman, seventh. Riccardo Longhi, the 2014 Italian champion. Emil Scaris, the Swede. And Adrien Renaudin, the CPB Sport Sodi Kart team driver. Just coming onto view now. Rounding out the 10. Renaudin, who won the last round of the European Championships at Kristianstad in Sweden by 17 seconds. Last year, you will recall. 10th at the moment, just ahead of Giardelli, Orlando Dalle. Piccini into 14th, just ahead of another driver from here in Naples, Ciro Mollo. Comanducci, Dylan Davies, the Dutchman. Jean Nomblot, third in the Rotax Max Grand Finals last year. Stepped up to KZ2. He admitted to us yesterday, yeah, the competition level here is extremely high. Jean Nomblot acquitting himself well. He is running in 18th spot. Daniel Vasile, who won the Champions Cup season opener at Adria, is 19th. And Marco Valenti in the 149 CRG rounds out the top 20. Ardigo comfortable out front. 7 laps to go now for the 3-time world champion. Palomba, Ippolito. So the two LKE Lenzo kart teammates, one in the colour of Luxor. That is Iacovacci from Rome, and Ippolito in the Lenzo. In P3, the team from Sicily. There's Simo Puhaka. The Finn is catching both of them. Renaudin comes into view, just ahead of Emil Scaris, Giardelli, Orlando Dalle, Piccini, Mollo, Davies, Comanducci. Out of Bet Italy, the two teammates, Iacovacci kisses the back of the nose cone of the Lenzo kart. Does Francesco. Into the final corner, down the inside. Oh, what a move at the very last moment. Caught his teammate by surprise, but he had to do something because Simo Puhaka is catching both of them. From grid number 16, Simo Puhaka is ranging into view. There is the Finn in the second remaining, or the second best Tony Kart. There are 4 factory entries. Vigano is out as we take a look at the replay at the very last moment. Down the inside, Francesco Iacovacci puts his teammate Paolo Ippolito 1 step off the podium. I'd suggest he'll be 2 steps off in a moment because Simo Puhaka has just reeled him in with tremendous speed. Ippolito blocks, but he can't do that for another 5.5 laps. Simo Puhaka is not that far off the podium. Alessio Piccini in the 3rd factory Tony Kart 13th. And of course, we lost Matteo Vigano on the very first corner. Renaudin go through ahead of Emil Scaris. The Frenchman ahead of the Swede. And it's Giardelli up into position 11. Puhaka now on the back of Ippolito. That's just too easy. The Finn up the inside. Ippolito at the last possible moment went in so deep, had everything locked up, and now falls 2 places off the podium. The question is, can Simo Puhaka, who's now in position number 4, catch Francesco Iacovacci? There are 4.5 laps remaining. The gap between Ardigo and Giuseppe Palomba, just over a second. What a drive from Palomba in the Intrepid. On his 17th birthday, runs in 2nd place here in the WSK Supermasters Series, behind the 3-time world champion. Across the line they go. There's Longhi going through. In position 8 ahead of Renaudin, Scaris, Giardelli, Orlando Piccini in 13th. Unfortunately, Alexander Dahlberg joins the list of retirements, including Telone, who was missing a left side pod on his Evo kart. Tonquist, Fife and Vigano, who were taken out on the very first lap. 3.5 laps now remaining for the 3-time world champion Marco Ardigo. 5-time European champion as well. Missed most of last season through injury, came back by his own admission just that little bit too early. Had the time off. The driver from Brescia in northern Italy, one of the most talented racing drivers in the world. I don't mean kart racing drivers, I mean racing drivers full stop. 3-time world champion with one eye on his 4th title to be held at Genk in Belgium later on this year. He will take the lead into the final round of the series as Ippolito runs wide. Well, the driver from Tuscany was on the podium, but he is fading now. Those Bridgestone tyres have cried enough. And he will miss out on the podium for sure here this afternoon. Ardigo from Palomba, superb drive from Il Napolitano Giuseppe Palomba. Ardigo in the 151 Vortex Power Tony Kart. Yes, he will take the series lead into the final next weekend. If it was to finish as it is right now, he would have 209 points over Toconto, who's not racing here today, on 132 points. So not bad for the driver who missed the first round of the series at Adria. Of course, escalating points or accumulating points, increasing, that's the word I'm looking for, at each round of the series. Irlando would be 3rd, Jakovaci would be 4th, Reynodin, Puhaka, Hayek and Lemmers coming back to Sano in 7 days' time. So a lap and a half to go now for the 151. Marco Ardigo, fastest qualifier on Friday night. He scorched around the 1,547 metre circuit in a time of 56.307, an average speed of 98.9 kilometres an hour on Friday night, average speed of just under 100 k's an hour, and a top speed unassisted of around 157, 158 k's an hour, and with the slipstream, the old magical 100-mile-an-hour mark here at Sarno, one of the fastest kart racing circuits on the planet. The final lap now, Marco looks behind him. He's got this one in the bag. Giuseppe Palomba will stand on the podium if he can finish this final 17th lap here at his home circuit of Circuito Internazionale Napoli. Marco Ardigo on his way to victory into the Pentafuels hairpin for the final time down the Vega tyres back straight into the BetItaly.it hairpin, down through the gearbox, coming up into turn number 11 right now. The driver from Brescia missed most of 2017 due to injury. What a comeback. Second 2 weeks ago at La Conca. He rounds the final corner, the checkered flag. Marco Ardigo wins here at Sano, the very circuit where he won the World Championships 4 years ago. Palomba across the line in second place. Giuseppe Palomba on his 17th birthday. What a drive from the driver from here in Naples. And Simo Puhaka did get up onto the podium. The Finn finishes 3rd. It's a Tony Kart 1 and 3, split by the intrepid of Giuseppe Palomba. There's Fusco across the line ahead of Maximilian Paul, Isaac Scottfist, all involved in that first lap incident. But take nothing away from the race winner. A faultless drive, a faultless comeback as we take a look at a replay of the start. That's where it all went wrong for Matteo Vigano. They went up into the first corner. Watch this. Josh Fife down the inside of Comenducci. Contact with the back of the CRG of Benjamin Tornquist. From there, it was like Times Square in New York on a Friday night. Ardigo didn't even see what happened. He was not headed at any point in the race. Paolo Ippolito drove superbly, but Giuseppe Palomba made the move down at the hairpin, came within millimetres of his left rear Bridgestone, smashing into the bodywork of the Lenzo kart, kept it all together, and from there went on to finish a brilliant second. Down the inside, Jakovaci took his teammate, Paolo Ippolito, Jakovaci, unfortunately, would ultimately not finish the race. Ippolito did finish in position 6th after looking good for a podium early on. Marco Ardigol, a faultless comeback. The 3-time world champion, the 5-time European champion. That's where it went wrong for Ippolito. Bas Lemmers sneaking through. 4th place in La Conca, 5th here for Lemmers in the new Lion Cart. We'll see him back in 7 days' time for the series decider here at Sano. The checkered flag for the 3-time world champion. Welcome back, Marco Ardigol. He wins the penultimate round of the WSK Supermaster Series. What to drive from Giuseppe Palomba, the boy from here in Napoli, 2nd. And Simo Puhaka on the very final lap makes it 2 Tony Karts on the podium. We will go down to the podium, the presentation here in Naples in just a moment. This is the WSK Supermaster Series here at Il Circuito Internazionale Napoli. The podium presentation for KZ2 in just a moment. Welcome back to Sano, about to proceed with the podium presentation for KZ2 in just a moment. Hopefully the track stays dry for our final for the mini kart class at the conclusion of this podium presentation. Mount Vesuvius in the background, a spectacular sight, a spectacular backdrop to this, the penultimate round of the WSK Supermaster Series. As we wait for the drivers to make their way down to the podium for the KZ2. Simo Puhaka did get up onto the final step of the podium on the very last lap. And what about Giuseppe Palomba? The boy from here in Naples, 17 years of age today. What a birthday present We were hoping he could hold on for position number 3. He did better than that and finished runner-up to the 3-time world champion, Marco Ardigo. Wait for the drivers to make their way up to the podium. Don't forget the WSK Open Cup for the first time at South Garda Karting, June 24. And the 3-round WSK Final Cup towards the end of the season at Castelletto di Branduzzo, Adria, and South Garda Karting once again. Drivers coming in from Parc Ferme, the 60cc mini final at the end of this one. And we're back here in 7 days' time. For the final. For the final of the Supermaster Series. Underway with the podium presentation for KZ2. He did it on the very last lap. A good drive. He came from grid number 16. On the podium for the Tony Kart Racing Team from Finland in 3rd place. Let's hear it for Simo Puhaka. Second place on his 17th birthday. What a drive! The boy from Naples, Giuseppe Palomba! On the very track where he won the 2014 World Championship, he has dominated all weekend. The winner, and now the series leader, the 3-time world champion, Marco Ardigo! The girls to present the trophies. In 3rd place, from Finland, Simo Puhaka. Second place, from here in Naples, from Italy, Giuseppe Palomba. And the winner from Italy for the Tony Kart Racing Team, Marco Ardigo. as we stand by for the national anthem of Italy. The podium for the KZ2 final here at Sarno. Third place, Simon Puhaka. Second place, Giuseppe Palomba. And the winner, the three-time world champion, Marco Ardigo.